What happens when the person studying the monster decides to become one? Bryan Kohberger wasn't your typical offender. He was a PhD student in criminology, a man who spent his days analyzing the very patterns he would later use to commit one of the most chilling crimes in recent history. But as a specialist in criminal psychology, I can tell you, even the most academic minds leave a psychological fingerprint. Today, we step inside the lab to dissect the mind of an academic predator. November 13th, 2022. Moscow, Idaho. 4 vibrant young lives were extinguished in a matter of minutes. The scene was chaotic, yet curiously precise. The weapon? A fixed-blade K-bar knife. The evidence? A single DNA-laced sheath left on a bed. To the public, it was a tragedy. To a profiler, it was a signature. Kohberger's academic background suggests he was attempting a perfect crime, a psychological detachment from reality where he viewed his victims as data points rather than human beings. Let's look at the pathology. Reports suggest Kohberger struggled with visual snow and a profound sense of isolation. But that's not what makes a killer. We see indicators of antisocial personality disorder, known as ASPD, with high-functioning schizotypal traits. He exhibited what we call the Dark Triad: Narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. His decision to study criminology was likely an attempt to learn how to be human, or perhaps a way to sharpen his predatory instincts. He was obsessed with the why of crime, not because he wanted to stop it, but because he was searching for a justification for his own internal darkness. How do we recognize this type of personality in our daily lives? Look for the uncanny valley of human emotion. These individuals often exhibit clinical detachment. They observe social interactions like an outsider looking through glass. They often have superiority complexes hidden behind a quiet or incel-adjacent persona. And most notably, a lack of affect, a flat emotional response even in high-stress or highly emotional situations. In Kohberger's case, students described him as creepy or overly analytical. That gut feeling you get? That's your biological alarm system recognizing a lack of empathy. How do you handle a high-functioning, disturbed individual? First, use the gray rock method. Become as uninteresting as a gray rock. Do not provide the emotional supply they crave. Second, trust your intuition. In psychology, thin slicing is your brain's ability to find patterns in a split second. If someone feels wrong without a clear reason, distance yourself immediately. Finally, predicting the unpredictable. These offenders thrive on control. Once they lose control over their environment, they often escalate or vanish. Never challenge their ego directly. Bryan Kohberger thought his PhD would make him invisible. He forgot that the mind always leaves a trail. I am the profiler, and this has been a psychological dissection of a modern predator. What do you think? Was his crime an academic experiment gone wrong, or the inevitable explosion of a damaged psyche? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to the lab to help us unmask the darkness. Stay safe and keep your eyes open.